In order for the scroll saw blade to get into these interior areas that I colored in pink, I need to have a hole drilled in there that I can thread the blade through. So to do that, I'm going to use my drill press. Now of course I could use just a regular hand drill, but the drill press is already set up and ready to go here. Alright, so now you can see we have holes through every pink area. My scroll saw is a fairly basic model, but it still turns out very nice work. For example, this is the last carving that I did. Typically, people will use a scroll saw for fairly thin wood and usually easy to cut wood. So cutting on 3/4 inch thick poplar is quite a challenge for the scroll saw. The scroll saw has a small blade that's very thin and a tensioner that makes the blade tight. So you have to kind of guess at how tight is. Too tight, it'll break the blade. Too loose and your blade will wander and then it'll break also. It also has this little blower attachment right here that blows the sawdust away from the cut area so you can see more clearly. Making an interior cut such as this large pink area is probably one of the more difficult parts for me. So let's do that first. In order to get the blade inside this wood, the first thing I have to do is release the tension on the blade, and then I have to release the blade itself on one end. Here it comes. Alright. Tighten the clamp on the blade and then retension the blade. Now the scroll saw can make very tight turns, but you have to be moving. If you turn your wood suddenly, you may break your blade. It just takes a little bit of practice to figure it out, but the blades are not terribly expensive if you do break one. So let's get started. As you can see, I'm having trouble making turns because I'm using a wide blade. Narrower blades can make tighter turns. However, narrow blades have small teeth that wear out more quickly and they break more easily. Thick wood requires wider blades, but I really needed the next smaller size for this project. Okay, let's take that piece out. And it's a reasonably clean cut. A little bit of roughness there where I was having trouble making the turn. but now I can turn the wood around and come back onto that spot. Big chunk gone. The scroll saw is actually one of the safest power tools there is, and so a lot of children learn how to use power tools by using the scroll saw. But you still can get cut. If it can cut the wood, it can cut your finger. So you have to treat it with respect. Okay, so we're almost done here. Okay, so we got that done. Again, release the tension on the blade. Release the clamp on the blade. Take the blade out and lift the wood up. Now I'll just rethread for the next hole. You've seen the best, and now I'll do the rest. Okay, while I was off camera, I cut out all the pink areas except for this one right here that I'm working on. And I'm very glad that I colored this pink and green, because when I got into this area, I got completely confused about what was supposed to be cut out and what wasn't. So coloring the wood is a very good idea, and even if you're going to not be painting it, but you're going to be staining it where the wood grain shows, the pencil can very easily be sanded off. And that's what it sounds like when you break a blade. Alright. The bad side is that I broke a blade. The good side is that's how I get a sharper, fresher blade. And so now we're ready to go after the outer edge. I want to cut down through here and keep this whole outside area together as one piece. And the reason for that is when I start running my router, I want to be able to put the star back inside the cutout area here. I had to stop here for a moment because I'm not getting very good results. And one thing I think is maybe happening is, you see how the blade is bowing when I put pressure against it. Increase the tension on the blade a little bit and then lock it back down, and now the blade is stiffer, so maybe it'll cut better. The blade I am using is similar to the top design in this picture. The skip tooth designs shown below would have cut this thick wood better because the larger spaces between the teeth have more room for sawdust. Once the gullets of the blade are packed with sawdust, the blade can't cut anymore. When I broke the blade a few minutes ago, the only spare that I had was much wider than the one that I was already having problems with. The new blade simply can't make tight turns like this. However, necessity will soon bring innovation. You know what I think I'll do? I think I'll take a drill and drill a hole right here in each of these corners to make it easy for me to make the turn. Okay, we're going to try something new. I was having a lot of trouble making the corners here. So what I did was I went back into the other shop and drilled holes in, especially at these points out here, so that when I come cutting down this way, I can go into that hole, make a quick turn, and then just come back this way, go into the hole, make a quick turn, go down this way. I think that'll work a lot better with this very, very thick wood. So let's try it. Yeah, this is a lot easier. So as you can see, every time you do a project, you can learn something new. This is a lot better way to do it, but I think I'm about to buy a new saw or have to do some repair work on this one. Got a few places I got to go back and clean up. One right here, a little piece there. And but I'm delighted that I made it around, because that saw didn't sound like it was going to make it. So we've got the main shape of the star cut out now. Now it's time to go to the router and make it beautiful.